Your media, where you are.
This podcast includes adult themes, sexual content, and strong language. Basically, all the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
From a podcast studio in Johannesburg, South Africa, you are listening to What the Relationship with your co-host Candace
And it's now B.
and our extra special guest.
Kayla.
If you're looking for a podcast that talks about all things mjolo, relationship,
The pandemic.
the panini, sex, men, women, non-binary, whomever,
Cryptocurrency.
whatever,
Hello.
we hope will make a great pair. Today, we're actually talking about something very deep that I think we actually don't often talk about,
Yeah.
which is healing. And not just like healing with ourselves, but healing in Njolo, in a relationship, right? And I think this is such a crucial element because it's something that I often tend to do for myself in terms of introspecting, but I find doing the labor or introspecting for my partner can be too much. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about it all today. But Kayla, before we start our topics, we usually ask, how's life? In particular, how's love? How's that going? Tell us.
It is going exceptionally well.
Mhm.
I'm blessed.
You're blessed.
Yes, I went into hiding. I left to go
Okay.
and do varsity and found the love of my life.
Ooh. But wait. Remind me. This man, I'm gonna call him the savage, because that is his bitch. Yes, bullshit. You guys met how again?
We were actually set up by friends.
Ooh.
But like,
Okay.
but like I didn't like the man at first.
It always be like that
Yeah.
sometimes, it always be like that.
We ended up in some like very movie scene, truth or dare, and we ended up having to like I was dared to guess the person to my right.
Okay.
And it just happened to be him. And I was like, look, I was actually like, look at this.
Look at fate.
Like, wait, are we cleared? Are we cleared for swear words?
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
still got that. This is a license from the last time you were here.
Look at this fuckboy.
Mm.
It was like, sir, you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're
Board
like,
sh-
I
you're in
already know.
Joburg. You're wearing board shorts
Uh-huh.
and like a pair of flip flops
Okay.
and holding like your beer. And I'm just there like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I can't.
You're already getting red flags.
Yeah, and then we had like a very weird, awkward kiss, and I was like, but then like I couldn't stop thinking about him.
Wow.
So I'm like,
Sometimes like that when it starts off with, I just wanted to be friends. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it just becomes something. I believe that there's some Nigerian witchcraft involved.
Some voodoo.
There's some-
ritual. Yeah.
no, guaranteed. Okay, so it's because like, okay, I friend zoned him, and I was like, listen, please, you me never.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, and then he answered every time I called. He pitched up every time I asked him. Like, I would be like, listen, I'm 30 minutes away. Be here in 10 minutes or don't bother. And he'd be there in 5. You know?
What a chance, guys.
With like a Red
Listen.
Bull and like, like just we love someone who can commit.
We want the honey. And you're giving me the honey, and you're giving me the honey in the right way.
Exactly.
So I was like, Shay, we put in so much effort, let me throw you a bone.
Mm.
And then Shay,
Was is bone code word for?
no.
Okay. No, I just want to know. Just for clarity for people who are watching this. What do they mean by
Wow.
sure?
I actually took Nsako's advice and a lot of our listeners' advice. Like the
Mm.
last time I was here, when they said, like, listen, you gotta wait.
Don't be
Yeah.
away.
You know?
Mhm.
So I
90
took
days.
that advice, yes.
Mhm.
And like it was just nice because I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna like, give you a chance. And then we went on a couple of dates. Like we were friends. Okay. I was
Okay.
like pushing away. And then
Mm.
no, it was so cute, guys. He told me like I like you. And I sent him, Surf's Up, that like
That penguin movie
Yes.
where penguins are
With
somehow
Chicken Joe.
randomly
Yeah.
like surfing in hot weather. Do we not ever think about that
It's
as,
wild. It's really
as
wild.
yeah, okay.
But I
Okay.
sent him a Chicken Joe meme that said, "Okay, sharp." Like,
Oh,
he's like, "I like you," and I'm like, "Okay." So, and he kept like, coming
yeah,
back
he kept
and like,
coming.
not being perturbed by the fact that I was a total bitch.
And not being a jerk about the fact that
No.
you were like,
I threw a lot of crazy at this man. I threw a lot, and he was like, "Okay, like, what's next?" So,
Yeah.
And I mean, people like, guys, you really know, like, if you've listened to all of our podcast episodes,
I can go
Yeah.
crazy.
listen. I feel like he probably listened to the podcast episodes before he was like, this is the one. Does he think so?
I mean, he's now met one of my ex-boyfriends.
Eh?
How was that? How was the
It was very
experience?
good. They're actually like pretty good friends.
The
like,
one that
they
you're
got
friends
along.
with.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because no, sorry. The last time
No.
Savage and I spoke, I told him that if he meets that one in the streets, he must call me so I can.
No, the one
Yeah.
that I'm friends with.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and like he gets along. They get along. It's so nice to have somebody gets along.
So now, listen to their previous episodes. There's a lot.
No,
So
I
context.
just Oh, I have the context.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, girl, are we allowed to like?
Right.
That one lives in Joburg.
Yeah.
It's now in Joburg again.
As far as I understand, I
We
was
moved from
warned.
Cape Town
I
to
was
Joburg.
warned by a friend.
Also, Kayla has a tendency of dropping crazy news on my lap. And now she's doing it whilst you're live. Okay, we'll talk about this off air. Okay. No, we are allowed to throw hands, especially with gents who disrespect my really good friend.
Okay, but like if I can segue here a little. I mean, I did get a lot of help to like heal from that
That
specific
is
person.
true.
the
That
person
is
I
very
know, so.
true. I was about to say that the August-September period of last year was very tumultuous, but Kayla now is a very wholesome. I mean, even in the first episode of 2021, her demeanor was just, I don't want to break knees. I just want to mend peace. Okay, I want to mend the knees I broke.
Exactly.
With a flower.
Exactly.
Okay, and maybe pour a little bit of lemon in the wound. But like you moved past
The
that.
lemon of kindness.
And I'm glad you moved past that because I was about to ask, was your previous relationship getting to a point where you were projecting in your current relationship?
Yes. Like, I don't even have to think that one through. Like,
Yeah.
they got to a point in my I still do things. I still do things where I'm like, like my partner will say something or do something and I get like, those like war flashbacks where you're like,
PTSD. Yeah.
and then like I find myself reacting in ways that to me have become habit. But I know that they're not like, I'm misinterpreting, like in the back of my mind I know it, but it's just like automatic,
Yeah.
and like I find that a lot, and then he kind of is like, I'm not your enemy.
Right,
And I'm like,
right.
okay, yes, okay, yeah. But it's like, but I think that those things they stick with us. They filter through into our relationships. But it's also-
And I know that he is the type to like, allow you to feel and validate your feelings, but also to allow you to say, look, I just want to remind you that I'm not him and reassure you. And I think that's always important in a relationship, especially where you've dealt with it. And it doesn't even have to be trauma or triggers from your previous relationship. It could be from life in general. But being with someone who doesn't invalidate your process or your feelings, I think that is so important because I could not handle being with someone who's like, oh, your feelings?
Yeah.
Discard that.
They don't matter.
They don't
That's
matter.
nice.
I get you.
That's nice. I could never.
just calm down. It's gonna be okay.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. You're looking too much into it, baby girl. It's not that big of an issue.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't need it. You're taking it the wrong way.
And then they say women are crazy bitches. Yep.
Z, how do you feel about this topic? Because I know I sent this topic very late last night.
Oh,
And I will put a disclaimer that I was listening to like Daniel Caesar. There's a song. There's a song where he it's called Violet. He goes, "You're my violet." That one. And I felt like he was resonating with me. But I don't know. I felt his vulnerability. I was like, this man is very vulnerable. I wonder what it would be like to date a Daniel Caesar.
That's so beautiful.
No, genuinely. Like, I was thinking about that. And I'm like, because he's always a person who brings some form of healing vocally.
Yeah.
Now, does he sense that in his relationships? I was like, you know what, let's talk about that.
Mm.
And let's also talk about the fact that as women in particular, and I'm basing this off on heterosexual relationships, right? Because I'm speaking from a cis-het Black woman experience. We always have to put in the labor and work in making sure that our daughter, our men, are okay. So I feel like part of us healing for ourselves is also meaning that we also have to bring the healing to our partners. And it's tiring.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, honestly. Like, guys, this is why I like challenging society.
Why?
Because this whole thing of a woman is a woman because of a man, you know, the whole social norm of if you're not married at a certain age, then you're not good enough. You know, guys, it's not about the other person, it's about you as an individual.
I agree.
You know, which is why also this whole concept, and I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or anything, but the concept of having to take your husband's surname and now your image is just gone. Now you're just this person.
I found out that if I had to do my PhD and get married just before I complete my PhD, and then I complete my PhD and I'm married, my husband becomes a doctor too.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Did he put in the same hours?
That's exactly what I'm
Did
thinking.
he? What? No, guys. I was like, what?
Wait, does that apply to the men as well?
You know, I don't know.
I feel like no. Isn't it like Doctor and Mr. Chirwa?
It has to be.
Exactly.
It has to be.
We have like as soon as you're that, you know, like established, I think that maybe your husband should take your name.
I genuinely feel like
If you, I'm not gonna change all of my degrees. Do you know how much bits cost to reprint a degree?
Do you understand the admin of when you get married, having to go to Home Affairs?
Home Affairs on
and
its
then change your
own.
driver's license and
Oh
change.
my
And your man
God.
is just chilling, living their best life.
Listen, I would be blessed with my surname to have like just a little bit of a shorter one, like just a little shorter surname would be great. So there's
I can
pros and
see
cons.
how much it takes a lot of space
Exactly.
on a card. I can get that. But we deviate. Z, please continue with what you're saying, my sister. Sorry.
Yeah, I
was
lost
just
my train of
by
thought
men.
now. Like now I'm just
Healing.
triggered. Now I'm
Triggered
thinking.
I was
okay,
triggered by
wait.
that because I was like, again, labor that I put in.
Exactly.
But
You-
is it?
I mean, do you understand the trauma of university, guys? The sleepless nights. What? Evaluation after evaluation. You.
Oh my goodness, I would be so
PTSD.
pissed. I'd be pissed.
Imagine.
I'm studying right now and just thinking like if my degree was just given to someone who
Imagine.
didn't have to deal with what I've dealt with.
Exactly.
Imagine.
No. Just no.
No, hey? No.
No, but like for real, can I have a genuine question because when I got this topic, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And then on the drive over here, I was like rethinking it a little bit. And do you guys really think that you're responsible for your partner's healing? Like guaranteed it's labor, but is it really your labor to bear?
Woo! I'm just thinking of, those aunties that at weddings that say, when you get married, you and him become one.
Exactly.
And his problems become your
Your
problems.
problems.
And, and it's the emphasis on the woman.
Yeah, but his problems, like my problems must also become his problems. Like, why am I dragging your ass emotionally behind me? Like,
Not with the patriarchy.
Oh,
Where
no,
the emphasis
listen.
is on you must carry the burden of every single thing, your work, your life, your relationship, everything. And no matter what happens in the relationship, trust and believe the first question they'll ask is, what did you
What
do?
did you do? Exactly. Like it's so
you know,
weird.
actually, no, my mom does the same thing.
Mm.
So, like, I get it. But,
Mm.
but no.
You see?
Yeah.
But no.
Like I was even watching Mubango yesterday. Like I don't watch TV at all, right?
Mm.
So now I'm just chilling there, and then it comes on, and I'm like, oh, okay. Not like I'm doing anything. I just want to rest right now. Like,
Right.
I was tired.
Mm.
And then the episode comes where Susan does not want Azundini anymore.
Mhm.
The chief of Tate. They've been together since
the beginning of
since-
time.
You understand?
Mhm.
Like I know Susan because of Chief.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
now Azundini is like, yeah, no, she doesn't want me anymore. And he's not saying why.
Yeah.
So now the mother-in-law, like Azundini's mother, is like, no, she's being disrespectful. Ha 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 ha. Go back and apologize. Your guys always sort your shit out, Okay,
Mm.
cool. And now the mother goes to Susan, like, please forgive my son for
Mm.
whatever it is that he did. Forgive him.
If you were getting your mother-in-law, like if you're getting your mom emotionally involved, I think you need to leave.
Listen,
Oh,
I think you need to
no.
go work on yourself and your emotional like immaturity, because at some point you have to
Exactly.
be a grown man. And, like, I'm not here to deal with your mother. I'm here to deal with you.
And for the mere fact that Azwindini actually took money from Susan's savings account without telling her. Apparently it was like 300K and bought
Why do
a
I feel like
car
this is
that
a
got
real life
stolen.
story?
And now I'm just like,
This feels like a real life story.
No,
exactly.
It's probably
and
happened to women.
bruh.
This right now is like, yeah, my cousin is going through this right now. Let me put it in the script and change names. I'm telling
Do
you.
you understand?
I'm
Exactly.
100%
And now it
telling
goes
you.
back to that whole thing of Azwindini and Susan. You're like,
You see,
you are
because
one.
your rib becomes my rib and it's one rib, and therefore everything becomes one. But
Exactly.
the onus is on the woman to maintain that rib doesn't crack.
Do you
Exactly.
not find it weird that, like, if his wife isn't doing the emotional labor, his mother is? Like,
You see now, who's that? Come on, segment fruit. This mothering here. It's so weird. It's such a weird
like
thing.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with having like a good relationship with your mom, and
Nothing.
you know. But at the end of the day, I feel like, okay, listen, I feel like men, and I generalize, men struggle to carry the emotional labor in their relationships.
100%.
But I also like question, because I look at my partner and I see a lot in like his emotions in our relationship, where I'm like, you know, that whole stereotypical thing of men don't cry.
Yeah.
And then he won't like let me see him cry, or he
Mm.
won't, because it's not strong. So I'm like, you know, have we kind of allowed this to happen by creating a
Right.
sense of what a man should be? So,
Mm.
you know, women bear the emotional labor and a man is stoic. You know?
I always go back to saying that I blame our mothers for one thing, that they raised us to be independent women, but they never raised our brothers the same way.
True. But I think it's also a thing of like, there are a lot of expectations of what the boy child should be, right? That you have to be provided and stuff, but there's no focus on like the soul, the emotional.
Yeah.
Are men ever taught, like women are taught, to carry that emotional labor? Like,
Exactly.
you know?
Guys, I don't know. I was just triggered by Daniel Caesar. I don't know why, but I just really was. And I think the reason why is because we often do talk about like the external elements of relationships. So what happens if you cheat? What happens if money is involved? What happens? But we never really focus in.
Mm.
We never really focus about like, am I okay?
Mm.
And am I okay to hold this relationship for the both of us? Because often as women, we are expected to be the rocks, to sail and do everything so that if the gent is crying, we will still hold him.
Yeah.
Then what happens when we're not okay? And I don't know. It's been, yeah.
You know what happens when we're not okay? Shit breaks.
That's true. But for me, it's like, there's still that onus that if the world is just against Candace through everything, that she's still expected to be a stellar girlfriend. She's still expected to be. It's like, give me that comfort that I give you when things are not working, right? But also, I think take your own initiative when things are not working for you, to take the time to heal for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't have to be in a situation where I'm telling you, yeah, you're projecting. Or yeah, you're being aggressive. You do that for yourself.
Yeah.
It shouldn't constantly be the admin of me to do it for you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, we all come with our own emotional baggage.
Yeah.
Same thing will happen, you know, with my partner, where, you know, I'll do things and then it, you know, kind of piques his concern. But then again, he also doesn't, like, he's not really been taught how to express that, because again, men don't express emotion, you know? But I think It's very important to put on your own oxygen mask first. You've got to heal yourself. You've
100%.
got to love yourself. You've got to be okay with yourself. And you know what? You've got to be okay with your partner bringing up that criticism and then you going away to work on it. Like just because your partner brings it up or like, you know, tells you, hey, listen, I have an issue. This is the, you know, emotional baggage that we need to work through. Doesn't mean that it's your partner's job alone to work through it. So
Yeah, like I'm just thinking about this whole situation, and I still feel like it goes back to how you were raised.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't know what love looks like, you're not gonna be able to give it.
exactly.
But I feel like we all have some idea of what love should be.
Some have an idea that love should be beating up your woman every time she does something wrong, and that is you proving that you actually love her.
I hear you.
You understand?
And like that is conditioned, right? You're brought up that in order for me to be the man of the house, I need to beat my wife. But at some point, you do have to ask yourself, why is it that I have to resort to aggression and violence? That is the healing that you need to go through to recognize that. I recognized as a kid when I saw my dad and my mom that I was scared, I was afraid. Now, why would I want to put my partner in the same position, right? But then,
Question. But what if your partner is asking you to do that?
to what? To heal?
No,
To what?
to hit them.
Wait, what? Did this talk about BDSM? Wait, hold on.
This just got very
This
dead
is
air.
this is not BDSM, bro. Like I'm
mean?
legit
What?
serious. At some point, I was having a conversation with this lady who left this guy because the guy was not beating her. Do you understand? Her definition of love was you
Abuse.
have to. Do you understand? Like you have to be firm with me. If you're not doing anything, if I do something wrong, and
You have
just
to be authoritative.
exactly, you have
stand
to
your
take your
ground.
power. So if the guy would be like, okay, no, it's fine, we'll deal with it. Which other way of dealing with it?
That person needs healing
Do you understand? So some people don't even know
when they need healing.
exactly.
Mm. You know, like
That does sound a little bit like BDSM in the sense of like she was consenting to being in an abusive situation or no, that sounds so gross, but like she was consenting to be hurt. She wanted to be hurt and he was not consenting. So it just, I don't know, it feels like I don't know.
Yeah,
It
no,
just, it doesn't, the whole dynamic is different, I
it is
guess.
a bit off because, you know, your notion of you don't know what love is if you've never been in a household where love hasn't existed. I don't know. I've always been that person where, yes, I didn't see my parents kiss each other, hug each other, show affection, but I always watched television shows. I always looked up to those things. I mean, oh God, Shonda freaking Rhimes,
Romanticize also as
Scandal,
yeah.
Kerry Wash. Oh,
Mhm.
anyway, so I'm just saying, I always had an idea of what I would want love to be for myself because I've seen that there is a lack of, right? And I guess maybe that's me being self-aware and cognizant.
Also,
Of?
it is the environment that you were raised in. Because also understand, because I noticed this when we were in university, right? That we're all coming from different backgrounds. You come from a background where you used to watch TV, you used to like literally go out, and then there are people coming from the Bundus, let's say no electricity, raised with paraffin stoves. They don't know what love looks like. To them, I have to grow up, reach a certain age, get a wife, or get married, get kids. That's it. And now you're the only one with this dream of actually going to university. And now you're getting here and you're like, oh, there's a girl called Candace.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm coming from a society where love is I gotta go to this woman, tell her I love her, she loves me back, bam, that's it. What happens in the house?
Can't really guarantee.
Exactly. And now you've romanticized what love is for you. But on the other side, this person is completely blank.
I guess that's why going forward, my question will always be not what your favorite color is, but what traumas are you working through.
First date questions.
That
Tell
or
me
that,
all your
legit.
baggage.
Tell me all of your emotional baggage. Tell me who
Did I-
you are.
I mentioned this. I was like, just show them all the crazy. Just show them
Literally.
all the crazy up front. Hello, this is like me. Hi.
Just want to go
Thank
to home and
you.
face
Yes.
tomorrow.
Exactly.
What's happening? You know? Because I think I've gotten past that point of removing the trivial. Like, what's your favorite color? What shows you're watching on Netflix? Because we all have different interests. Like, I will draw the line if you say you put banana on pizza.
What?
There! I will never date
No,
someone who
guys.
can put banana on dough bread.
Have you ever
With
had
tomatoes.
a bacon and
No.
banana
Oh, yeah,
sandwich?
you need,
Oh my
guys,
God, it's
I'm
so
telling
yummy.
you
It's so
right
thin
now.
sweet.
Kayla, get out! I'm
Have
telling
you
you
ever
right
dipped your
now.
fries in like your milkshake or something?
Yes, that's
It's the salty and the sweet.
that I
It's
can
such a
do.
vibe.
But banana.
Definitely.
Banana.
Okay, I'm for banana, but not for pineapple. So like,
Oh, I'm for
See, I'm
pineapples.
for
not for-
pineapple now.
Exactly.
I've got to go.
Yeah,
You can
literally.
disrespect. Exactly. And you can disrespect your mouth by putting banana on a pizza. I don't know what other things you're putting in your mouth and to get your mouth on my lips. No.
Wait, what are we having in our mouth?
I'm just saying.
Tea.
Oh,
I'm just
Oh.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I can
Right.
differing interests of you're watching Peaky Blinders, I'm watching. That's fine.
yeah.
We need to get to the
But-
depths of it.
Exactly. I need to know who am I dealing with, so I know that I can, But also, I don't want to now therapize you.
Yeah.
Therapist is I don't want to be a
Yes.
therapist,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to understand: are you working on yourself and the issues that you've got that you've recognized, right?
Mm.
Because it's very different if it's a thing of like, oh, he leaves the socks and he doesn't. That's very trivial. But it's very different where you are projecting through aggression because you're realizing that something's not working for you.
You see,
That's different.
some people don't even know, like they're not even aware that they're doing these terrible things, So I think it goes back to like the key to like really successful relationships is you have to communicate. You have to be like, listen, this is my baggage. This is if you're going to get into a relationship that you want to continue, and be sustainable for the long term, you've got to be open. You've got to be willing to be like, these are the things that I sit with, that I'm working with. Your partner has to be willing to do the same. And unfortunately, he can't solve or she can't solve your problems, and you can't solve their problems, but you guys can be there to support each other through them. I think.
That's true. And I advocate for couples counseling,
Yes.
not therapy, because therapy is different. Therapy is you're coming together because you both are not. Counseling is before we walk down this aisle.
Yeah.
Let's see whether we really want to get married. And they ask you a set of questions that you would never ask at like a Topio's, a Greenside, or these questions are so life altering that if
Wait, do you know the question?
I don't. I wish I did. My sister intentionally kept the questions from me because she's like, I know you're gonna do. And when you do, you're gonna have to go through it, right? And I didn't want to now prepare my side of the question.
Can you Google?
Maybe you
I
can Google.
honestly, like, if I find
Marriage
out, I'm just gonna
counseling
sit there
questions.
and be like, so, what are your thoughts?
What are you thoughts? No, but literally, like, based on, because I've just been living through my sister in terms of like her getting married and stuff. So they had to do marriage counseling, and it's with a Catholic perspective,
yes,
right?
yeah.
But even then, they make a disclaimer to say, if after this session you guys don't want to get married, that is okay. Now, let me tell you something. If I hadn't spent more than 100,000 rand, someone's getting married.
Okay, but
I don't know
who.
who.
Just do it at the beginning of your relationship, or like
A marriage
not
counseling.
relationship, at the beginning of like your wedding process type of thing.
Mhm.
And if you're not ready to do it, then
Then
you
don't
guys
make
don't
any
have to
plans.
be. Guys don't have to stay or break up. You
100%.
can stay a couple, just like
Mm.
maybe
I
hold
just
out
think
on the whole.
Those things are very vital for
These are very
like
vital questions.
going
Very
into deep
interesting.
things. What are the
Did you find
questions?
them? Tell me
Yeah.
everything.
Tell us
Tell me
everything.
You
right
know
now.
Google. That's what
Google.
it's saying. No,
Tell us
it's
everything.
like
We should get call-ins.
how do you truly feel about the relationship?
Yo! You're just like, I just want to let.
You know, like
And you're probably under oath. They're probably like, before this, please put your hand in the Bible.
They do it separately.
No,
No.
they
It's
could do
together.
that.
Time is not set. Okay, but if I want to marry you, like, of course, gonna be
Exactly.
like, I'm super.
I mean, one of the questions is, do you guys do we want to live together? So
I
Yeah,
mean,
we can live together. Like,
hello, yeah,
after
sure.
you've lived with someone, then you realize
If you can handle the person's thoughts,
mm-mm.
you can live together.
Guys, do you understand when we're dating that you hold your farms, you hold it and you're like,
telling you,
it's not fun.
the thoughts are the.
If you can still love someone through their like morning breath,
Woo!
you got to. Or putting their socks next to the like washing bin. I know I leave the
Or
toothpaste
not.
cap off.
Or
my
not.
God.
Not washing the dishes
Oh no, I
the
do
way
that.
I wash the dishes. I know,
Okay.
but I have a specific method to wash the dishes. I think I'm actually
What?
I think I'm actually OCD. There's something like when I need to have a feng shui, right? So if I walk into a space, certain things need to be put together. Like but even applies to washing dishes. So I start off with taking all of the dishes out of the sink,
Okay.
washing the sink,
Yes.
making sure it's clean,
Yes.
then putting the dishes in the sink,
Yeah.
hot water, soap. Then I start alphabetically. So I
You're
go cutlery, cups, and then plates, pots, whatever. Right, cool. Then, but the thing is, the way I put my things is that the plates need to face this way. No, the bowls need to face this way, and the plates need to face this way. I'm very specific about that. Like,
We
if I
have a
watch,
perfectionist queen.
not like I watch some people wash dishes, and I'm like,
What are you doing?
Now I feel like you were
What
judging
did
me
you
when
do
I was
before
washing the
the
dishes at
podcast?
your place the other time.
was I there?
Yes.
Was I in the kitchen?
Yes.
Was I paying attention? Was my
I
was
hope
my
you
phone?
weren't paying
I
attention.
don't think I was.
Because wow.
Because if I were, I'd be sitting there, sitting like, "Sissy, girl,
What?
hang on." I have a specific way as to how I make the bed. I
Oh my
you need to remove the
God.
pillows first. Then you need to then put the guys. I'm very, but it's how I was raised, my mom, right?
Yeah.
So living with someone, I think, would be a very interesting thing for me, especially if someone was very like, just put the sock randomly.
This is literally.
But I can compromise because I'll be like, okay, let's
Yeah.
put the basket somewhere where you can throw the sock, okay? But I can compromise. But things like values,
Yeah.
right? I also think political views. I don't think I could marry a Steve Wolf mayor. I'm telling you right now, I can't. I don't think I could marry someone from Africa Forum. I'm telling you right now, I can't. What are you doing? Trying to emancipate me from my blackness? No. Like, I think there are definitely some. Yeah. Can you read the question?
What about religion?
I'm Roman Catholic.
I'm just like, what?
You're just like, "Oop." I'm Roman Catholic. So it wouldn't be an issue for me to get married to someone with a different religious or faith background. However, I do know my family would have an issue with it. Simply because, especially with Judaism, I think it's a Hindu, Islam, you have to convert. The woman usually has to convert, especially if she's not of their faith. So I don't know if I could ever meet someone that I could compromise and saying, okay, just do this religious free thing. And usually that's not the case. Yeah.
I feel like there's so many questions you have to ask because the problem is not the problem, but I mean, like, what creates a problem most of the time is that, as one of my friends used to say, I'm sorry, I'm not you. Like, we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from, different ways of life, values, religions, all like, and now you smushing these two people into, let's be honest, we're like a wildly underpaid generation. So like this tiny flat,
That's true.
and like just basically like, okay, cool, make it work. Like, it's not going to be that easy. Again, we're very different.
Very.
Even if, like you say, you want to compromise, like, what is compromising to you?
Yeah.
I'm an only compromise, guys. I won't lie.
Okay, no,
We do
listen.
a lot.
I don't do the dishes. I don't cook.
I
I
don't clean.
And let me tell you, I got
Hey.
this ring. No, shame, really. Like, but like,
I think I can compromise when it comes to things like you do the dishes, I do the dishes on this day. But I can't compromise on things on how I want to be, on how I should be loved, how you should love me. I'm not
Yeah.
going to alter. If I say, me, I want this, I want this, I want this, and you're like, no, but I can't give you this and this and this, then I'm not going to be like, okay, cool. No.
you gotta go.
But what
No.
if I can give you
Why are we
2 out of
wasting each other's time?
3?
But
Huh?
are you both happy? Are you both happy? If you're both happy and you're willing to like work towards something, then cool. But like, if you're both, or one of you is unsatisfied, like,
Mm.
why are you wasting each other's time?
What is it that Phil said last week? You are blocking someone's husband or wife.
Exactly.
Relationship. Yeah.
Rock, balloon,
Mm.
cut them loose, fly away.
What are the other questions, Z?
The other questions were hold on a second. Okay. I was playing truth or dare now.
Yeah. you're just out here.
Yeah, like
You're
okay.
playing truth or dare on your phone. Okay.
Yes.
I'm very concerned about your life.
I was just playing along, guys. Come on. Okay.
I'm just sorry.
I was
Okay.
basically cheating myself, so it would be truth or dare.
Were
and I
you
would
just
be like,
waiting to be
okay.
dared to do something you really want to do? Just be
Right?
like, listen, officer, listen. This is truth or dare.
Tell us, you.
You see?
I want to know.
No. I'll tell you after. Okay, cool. So it says, how do you truly feel about the relationship?
Mm.
What bothers you most about me?
Mm.
Okay.
You know, what kind of love do you feel? And
Uh-huh.
do you trust me?
Yo.
Yeah.
These are like questions and answers that, okay, I mean, I've had them in my relationships.
Mm.
These are things that you ask people, I guess.
I feel like
I
you
mean,
have to do these questions like every bi-quarterly or quarterly. Or,
quarterly.
like, you know how a company checks its reports.
Hi, this is our annual meeting.
This is our
I
annual
just wanted
meeting,
to-
annual checkup.
I've been
Do
sent
you
by the
trust
Council
me?
of Payroll.
Right.
to find out
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
wait. So
Oh,
this is
that's
how-
another one.
No, here's my-
Quality survey.
Are you satisfied with our intimacy?
Okay, but I mean, that's got to be another question that you've got to have.
And if you guys are not having that intimacy conversation,
Exactly.
because communication doesn't only speak to everyday things, it also speaks to everyday things.
You know?
Yeah. So.
And have you ever considered having an affair? That's the last
Oh shit! In the meantime, that is a question because how do you imagine you're like, yeah, you know, your friend that one
But, like,
time. How do you put context to that?
If you as a person answer yes to that question and you knew that you were going to answer yes and you're with a person who doesn't want to have an open relationship, why are you there? Why? You can find someone who fits you.
Choice as a CSC.
Why are you making me out to be this person?
It's that face that you're pulling.
Where does it end you up? Okay, so cool, yeah, I'm gonna like completely fake, like, no, I don't want to have an affair. No, and then you get married, and then you end up unhappy, and then you're like,
You know what? That's it.
or
I
you're
mean,
doing it for the thrill.
Sex Life, Netflix.
Yes. Exactly.
You know what? Sex Life.
No,
Get
I don't watch TV anymore. I barely leave my house.
baby girl. I don't care what assignments you have.
Contact the IIE
I
and lay a
don't
complaint. If you can hear me, send
You're
international
going
aid.
to open. I'll even send you my Netflix login details. You're
Yeah.
going to open Netflix, have it
Exactly.
playing on this side of the screen, and you'll work
While
on the
you're
right hand side.
typing on the
You
other
better watch
side.
Sex Life,
Sex life, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then you need to tell me. You need to tell me because
Yeah, guys.
that whole affair chat about if you thought about having an affair before you met me, like I don't know.
My thing is, as soon as you start thinking about seeing someone else, you need to express that to your partner. Like straight up. You need to be
Yeah.
like, listen, I am feeling this way and I don't feel like my needs are being met by you because of X, Y, and Z. Now, as the partner, you then have to take that take it in a mature and like respectful way,
You
and try
think
and have a
men-
conversation. Try and have a conversation with that person because that person's still
Oh,
a
I'm
person.
throwing fists, I'm throwing hands.
Okay, but
Excuse me,
He's
what?
coming to you before like anything happens. So he's saying to you, listen, I'm not being fulfilled in this way. Right? Or you're going to him and saying, I'm not, or her, and
Mhm.
saying, I'm not being fulfilled in this way.
Right.
You need to have that conversation before you even, like, as soon as you start considering seeing someone else. Then once that conversation is had, you guys need to work through that. And if you still want to have an affair, you need to leave. You need to leave before you have an affair.
You
If
know what
you
this
have
conversation is making me feel like? It's making me realize that, guys, we are coming from a hella different generation.
You know,
Because I'm just thinking about this. Think about this. Our parents' generation. Imagine your dad going to your mom, or your mom going to your dad and being like, "Listen, sir,
you're not giving me what I want.
you know, this whole missionary position every night ain't working
Yay.
for me, girl. Let me give you a
Missionary,
take."
missionary for the rest of your life just sounds like torture. I won't lie. That shit don't slap. It's not slapping. Even when I'm on my period. I,
I know.
Whoa.
No,
Whoa.
hey.
I just think when you watch Sex Life,
Yes.
just consider that the whole discussion you're having about an affair and
Yeah.
it's out of the window with that show.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
Why don't you, maybe your person's into being like a throuple. Then you guys can be like a
Yeah, but you
throuple.
indicate in the meaning, right?
I'm a polygamist. I'm a polyandrist. Hello.
Exactly.
You know?
Or maybe
Before,
you
not-
change. People change as you age. You change.
true.
So maybe you decide, listen, I want to start a cult and be a god. And I'll have this conversation every day. Follow me, join my cult.
Oh,
Self-plug. No, but like think about
wow.
it. What if you decide like I want to be in a relationship with 20 people plus
Mhm.
you and I love you? You know what I'm saying? It's an ongoing conversation because we are ever changing
That's
beings.
why
Jokes
that
aside.
annual report check is so important because
Mm.
you get to be constantly in sync with your partner and saying, am I out of 10? What is this now? Out of
Exactly.
and I think why then, going back to the topic, why it's important to constantly introspect is that then you won't have moments of you taking offense to me saying you're a 6 out of 10 in this department. Because you understand that being who I am, being who you are, being growing human beings, I genuinely I'm not getting this at the
Yeah.
moment, and let's talk.
And it's not a
Mm.
critique on you.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
And that's why I say it's always important, and that's why I loved what Sam said 2 episodes ago, where he said, although I want a relationship, I know I don't want it right now
Now.
because I'm dealing with stuff, and I know that if I'm in a position where I have to be with someone, I'm definitely going to project onto them.
That's
And
mature.
That's why you take your time to go through what you have to go through, feel what you have to feel, to the point where you're like, okay, I think, to then say, I think I'm okay to be with someone, because you won't always be great the whole time. But you at least need to then say, because I've committed to being in a relationship, I therefore have to be obligated to making sure that if I ever do project or if I ever misstep, that the onus is on me to fix myself. And it's not constantly on my partner to carry that burden.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's why Mary had a little lamb.
You have to do your own emotional heavy lifting.
You have
Don't have
to.
everybody's strength for it. Like,
No, but simple things like checking in like every night, going for the next 5 to 8 minutes, I'm gonna be on Headspace. You're using a guide to guide you, to ask yourself, how am I today? What did I do? Am I
if you
okay?
need to get professional help, if you need to be
Fine.
guided through something, like go get that help. Go and
But
work through your
Think
things.
that through, but rather be in a position where you're seeking that help because you know you need it,
Exactly.
rather than your partner saying, yay,
You need help.
you're too much.
I mean, even if your partner does, even if it's at a point where it's like you need to get help, hear them out. You're not being critiqued. It's not about you. It's about like forming a stronger relationship, working through both of your issues.
I think what I'm just trying to say is that don't let it get to a point now where your burdens are like now drowning your partner. Because at the end of the day, your partner does have their own life.
Yeah,
They have
we're
their
our own
own
people.
things. And it's not to say I don't want to handle your issues or I don't want to carry you and be your comfort and support. But if it becomes a dependency or if it becomes a thing where you constantly just, it's too much.
It's so weird. Like I'm just sitting here, guys, and I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, guys, we're so cute.
Ow!
Like,
How we keep it?
like I'm literally, I just
Cutest.
channeled the inner man in me, you know.
And you're like, huh.
And I'm just thinking how men always just become defensive, all about, yeah, you're trying to control me. Yeah,
Right.
you understand? Like, guys, men have problems.
Men are the pandemic.
Like, yeah.
We thought COVID was. COVID is, but
No,
men.
COVID is contributing to a pandemic that we're already facing.
Men.
Like,
But it's about being
Yeah.
open to the criticism. Like it's coming from a place, as long as it comes from a place of love. Because okay, listen. Sometimes I
Mm. I could do
have,
girl,
girl, I have
I
had
could
blood.
I could give you criticism in lingerie. And I know man would still be offended.
See, so this is my thing. Maybe it's because I'm just blessed, but like
Yes, girl.
I have this intense ability to go from 0 to like 2,000 in under 0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like that is who I am. So I get like sometimes if the criticism is being thrown at you in an aggressive way. Like I'm
Right.
also like, excuse me, but it's then about like taking it in and just like it's about a maturity thing. Like,
Exactly.
it's really about just being confident enough within yourself to be like, you know what, I'm not a perfect person and I need to maybe learn and like fix myself
Yeah.
so that I can be better for myself and my person.
So basically you're saying we should date sugar daddies.
Whoa.
What is
What? So, what? Wow.
Candace is still mean on the cook air.
Obnoxious.
Wow, guys, I know. But
And
like,
Ivy Park is dropping tomorrow.
What is Ivy
So,
Park? Somebody
Beyonce is
famous.
blowing mine.
Great. Sorry.
Yeah, you see what? She's gonna be sending pictures to the savage. Like, babe.
No,
you look
listen,
really
okay.
good in
I
this.
already hinted at him that for Christmas I want like a 2,000 rand pair of platform shoes.
Jimmy, with Jimmy shoes, but
No, they're fabulous. They're like this big platform and they're like neon pink and they just
2000.
I'm becoming a pastel goth.
2000.
I really want to just be pink in everything.
2000 rand could get me. 2000 rand could get me.
Who's dropping hints? I'll
Yeah,
go
but-
halvesies with you. I'll go halvesies, but I'm gonna be like 6 foot tall in my
But you
platform.
understand, you have someone who can get you something. Some of us have to go. Some of us have to tweet. If you smoke her, if you smoke her, Ivy Parker. You know, some, of us,
that.
some of us have to go. Oh my god, I need chocolates. Some of us have to like tweet. Oh my god.
Okay, no, you've seen my statuses though. Sometimes I
Wow.
throw out into the universe.
Your
This is my
man,
address. Please.
your man knows. Oh, my girls had a long day. Here's Red Bull.
No shame, it's so cute. He
Huh.
came home with lunch today, and I was like,
You
and
see that? You see
Look at
that?
he cooks every night. We've been together for almost a year.
Mm.
Okay, I've
Guys.
cooked once.
Ah,
One
sis,
time
now.
in my life.
Does he have a brother?
does he
I'm
have
telling
a,
you.
does he have a sister?
Yes, and she's so beautiful.
You know,
She's beautiful.
we just join our family real quick. 'cause
Listen.
I know. If you always hear, and you know, Candace has had a very difficult day, and then you get her coffee on it without me having to post. Oh, Jesus.
Yes, it's that waking up to a chocolate croissant and a coffee.
That energy is what I want. The honey is what I want.
And the money.
It's what I want.
Exactly.
You see now. You see now.
Oh,
You don't have to second guess. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You just know. You just know.
Although, okay, I was reading this very interesting thing and I wanted to like maybe get your guys' opinion on it. I can't remember, it was a celebrity and she was literally like, listen, no matter how much you love your person and how secure you guys are, make sure you always have an exit strategy. Thoughts, comments, opinions, critiques.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
I
Yeah.
agree with her because it's like, you know what?
Mm.
We never know.
You never know.
Things can go like tits up so quickly.
Mm.
And then what? You guys are screaming and shouting at each other. You live in the
Mm.
same house. He owns everything. You get kicked out.
Mm. Don't be crazy in love. Don't marry in community of
Community
property.
There's trust.
What?
There's trust, but then
Yeah.
there's also like taking care of yourself. Having someone
Exactly.
like doesn't mean that you become a second option.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
Always
this is
have, in as
true.
much as you have a
Mm,
insurance plan,
mm.
always have an exit
Exit
strategy.
plan.
And that's not to say like I'm hoping things are going badly.
Right.
Or that I don't trust you. It's literally like I've got to take care of myself just the
Mm.
same as you're taking care of yourself.
Yes, I mean, how many times have we trusted people and actually got burned?
Girl,
Exactly.
how many times have we burnt people we've trusted? We've trusted us. So like actually, yeah, like I know I'm also the problem. I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very hyper aware. And I think being a Sagittarius, we are the type where we invest so much into something
Mm.
and then one wrong thing, like one thing, you say one thing or you do one thing, and then you're just like,
I'm laughing because welcome to BPD, girl. Like literally borderline
Like-
personality disorder.
And
Do
I-
one thing and I'm
I-
done.
Exactly. That's
And I-
also like Scorpio energy.
yeah,
It's just
I've been reading more into, like, I think people think astrology is great, but I'm like, read astrology and just read how
exactly.
accurate it is. Lately, there's been this girl on Twitter, Buhle, the tarot girl.
Mm.
Every time she tweets something about Sagittarius, I'm like, drag me. She's dragging me. But I'm like, you know what? You are describing everything that I'm going, because I'm just like, you, like, what?
Mm.
And it's
Yes,
that thing of like, we invest so much. It's not like we don't have commitment issues. It's just when we commit hard.
yeah.
And
Commit all the way.
if you just show one thing, if you do one thing or you just say something that makes me feel like you're not fully in, then I fully retract.
Dude.
That's Sages.
You are literally
You
like,
can only
preaching
burn
to
the
choir.
fire once, right?
You're preaching to the choir.
So you always have to have an exit strategy.
I'm
Yeah.
that girl who's literally like, okay, cool, you've hurt me. Going to like my ex, and I'm like, do you want to destroy him with me?
Okay. One thing
Everybody
I
has a
know
past, guys.
I won't do is I won't go back to my ex.
No, ma'am.
I'm not-
bad?
How bad
was
I must drive back to Edenville.
Hey, Edenville's a nice complicit.
Okay, now that I have a mini maybe.
Ah.
The thought of being on Mother Fontaine Road.
Yeah, no.
This is me, like, since I haven't had to drive out to Rand Park.
Mhm.
Oh, it's been beautiful. I literally live on the East Rand and I do not leave the East Rand. Like, unless I'm going to Basti.
But
Just
every time
rarely.
I'm driving to Kempton Park, because I use the M1 and I drive past and you see like Land Rover, you see Bedford Field, you're like, what a different country. Like you drive into Bedford View, just the scenery, the air, everything's different. You know, and you're like,
It's
money.
more spacious.
Mm.
So much ego to
Money.
like keep in one place.
I think I'm gonna find my sugar daddy.
It's
Can I-
coin.
Do you ever get that thing where like you're driving and it's like you get like war flashbacks from your ex where you're like,
Edenville.
oh, you see, this is my thing. Where I'm like, I drive through like Rand Park and I'm like, whoa,
Listen,
hold up.
Yeah.
even if I'm driving in a luxury SUV, I will still have flashbacks because I will always just go back to that moment where I was just starting to learn how to drive, and he told me, "Get to my place, and if you don't, you're gonna be single." And I don't know how many times I stole, and it's not like Edenville is next.
I'm
It's
tired. Like I'm tired for you.
how many times I stole, how many times, guys,
Mm.
and it's not like I was on the highway because I was
Yeah.
avoiding the highway. I
Could
went
he
through like,
drive?
yeah, he could.
Why are you so cruel, sir?
Thank you.
Sir, just like out of curiosity. Like,
You're
are you
healing. You needed to heal.
But
Do
funny
you
enough, you
hug?
did not see this when you were there at that specific moment.
But that's why
You
you
were
need family.
okay.
I was okay with it. But then at the moment,
Exactly.
I was like, I'm getting whack rounds. How am I okay with this?
Shame.
You know, you deeply and genuinely know when you're not happy.
Yeah, you know when somebody's playing emotional ping pong with you,
Mm.
but you're gonna convince yourself otherwise.
You don't even
because-
know yourself
Oh,
because
we are the queens of
sometimes
convincing
As,
ourselves.
yes, as women, we always put other people's
Feelings
yes.
first.
So if he's happy, I'm
Exactly.
with
His
an
happiness
asterisk.
is more important.
That's
Me,
why.
I love me. I love me, and I'm gonna make her happy, and then I'm gonna make you happy.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I can only I'll only prioritize me first.
Mm.
And if I'm happy, then we know it'll be good.
And I feel
Girl.
like all of this comes from experience.
Sure.
You have to experience it to know what you don't want in the future. because-
Exactly.
Yeah. Coming
Exactly.
from a naive, then you're just like, but he loves me.
Exactly.
He's hitting me because he loves me.
Mhm.
Yes. Men are not. Kayla! We miss you!
It's so nice to be in your like, girl,
Oh my
You guys are doing
god!
the most.
Sako actually said she's probably gonna come. Well, not probably. She said she is
Yes.
coming for an episode. So it's just gonna be a throwback reunion,
I love it.
guys.
I love it.
And I just feel like because we can have full guests. We just need to have everyone together.
reunion with the other girls.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're the girls who will be here. Oh, okay.
We started crazy stories. You guys brought like
No,
calm
now
and
we're just
wisdom.
continuing in. You know when it's
You know?
continuing in. Thank you so much for being here and blessing us with your presence.
It was such a pleasure. I had so much fun.
So
Yeah.
good just hearing you, and I'm sure our viewers are like, oh my gosh,
She's not in jail.
you know, yeah. No, people are probably like, oh,
Yeah.
she okay?
I was actually doing a like 9-year
She's-
stint.
Wholesome.
I murdered some.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You know what?
Don't
After watching Devil's Dope, anything could.
I heard I must watch it.
Please, Sex Life,
No.
Devil's Dope. Please, if you need login details,
Oh wait, this is the listen.
I'm
we
gonna
know
watch Devil's Up.
me and Satanists. So,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I've left that
Oh.
part of my life behind.
I think she's referring to episode. I can't remember which episode she's referring to, but
There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's
of
a
stuff
lot
that's
had happened where Kayla spent a night with the Satanist
Yeah.
in a nice Airbnb.
I a very nice Airbnb, but I regret a lot of things.
Shout out to
Oh
Airbnb.
my god. Okay.
As usual.
But wait. So
Uh-huh.
I just want to say one last thing, right? Like for us, the females in our generation, I feel that because we know what we don't want
Mhm.
or need in a man,
Mm.
can we then do better? Especially for our kids.
Yes.
Mhm.
Can we treat them better? You know?
Hallelujah.
You know, because we're always complaining and crying and saying our brothers are doing 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
You know, can we just do better?
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. Don't settle. If your yoni and your heart is telling you it's not happening, the combos are not combining.
If the yoni wants some D, get it a dildo.
Sure, but if the yoni detects that this is not a long time situation,
Mm.
don't settle.
There's nothing
True.
wrong with doing what's best for you.
Exactly.
It's
Even if
loving
it's a short
yourself.
term, even if you're on that temporary zig,
Just communicate.
Mhm.
That's
communicate and be open. Please tell
Yeah.
like
Oh.
you're only here for a short time, not a long time.
Mhm. Communication is key.
Exactly.
That's what education
I hope people have been taking notes, guys. I hope you've been learning, writing.
There will
your
be a
homework.
test tomorrow, 9 a.m.
Exactly. But-
alongside a quality survey.
exactly. But as usual, thank you to our listeners for being you and amazing and awesome and tuning in. And to our new listeners, we hope you press that subscribe button.
Do it. It's so
Like
worth
and
it.
share.
It's so worth it.
Oh,
We are
I
here every week with different people. We come in with different topics, sometimes spicy, sometimes more, therapeutic, like today, which is always good.
Very
We need to have that balance. We need to have that balance. But yeah, as usual, from your co-host Candace
And it's Zanel B
and our extra special guest,
Kayla.
we are out.
signing out.
Bye.